Well, welcome to Rock Bottom, everybody. Tobin here with you. I'll be your tour guide. Miami Dolphins lose to the Tennessee Titans by a final score of 31-12. Certainly got away from the Miami Dolphins there in the fourth quarter. They did finally get in the end zone, although, I mean, you want to talk about the damage is done, my friend. Whew. Whew. What a freaking disaster. And the thing about it is, you know, you go into a game like tonight against an 0-3 Titans team, which you look up and down the Titans roster, you are actually like, these guys got some dudes. They got some players, you know, not the world beaters, but they got a solid squad. And only the Dolphins feel like they could, because of how snakebit they are, work their way into a scenario where perhaps a better quarterback was playing quarterback that started the game for the Titans, because Will Levis throws an interception to Emmanuel Ogbah, which the Miami Dolphins, of course, did not take advantage of. But then the next drive, after the Dolphins had an awful turnover, where Tyreek Hill was sitting here playing patty cake with the football, and the Titans get it right back. You know, it was, you know, what a tease it was, because it felt very, very much like the game starts off, Ogbah gets the pick, he does thigh master to keep it. You're like, all right. Ball flips over to Miami. Big play to Jalen Waddle. End around to Tyreek Hill. We were just talking about this on the pregame show. I'm like, I'm taking Tyreek Hill plus half a yard. I think that was the over-under on him. Boom. Rushes for 16 right off the bat. Miami Dolphins are rolling. And then they throw the little fart backwards pass out of Tyreek Hill's reach slightly, but then he lollygags after the football, and it ends up with the Tennessee Titans. So no urgency, no awareness, complete lack of discipline. One of the things that's been really disappointing with the Miami Dolphins is in the absence of Tua, who, look, I love Tua's adorable face, but my God, I got sick of it tonight on this television broadcast. But in the absence of QB1, you're also trying to find one of your top paid guys, one of your leaders on offense, to step up and make something happen. And the play of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I understand what they're working with. I understand that they have novices running these offenses essentially. But even in the plays that are there, do they ever pick anything up when the game's on the line, or when the game could be swung, or when momentum could be swung? Is that ever going to happen? Is Jalen Waddle ever going to make a catch of significance when his team needs him to pick it up? Is Tyreek Hill ever going to make a play when he's got a young QB out there, or he's got a QB who's new to the offense and he kind of puts it in the range? Can he go make a play after getting his raise that he all needed, and Waddle getting his extension, and all these guys getting their money? Will any of them step up in a place to go and make a big play? Today, the answer was a resounding no. It was a resounding no. And then, to boot, the Miami Dolphins then lose maybe their best player, Will Levis, because he was diving for a first down, hurts his shoulder. And so Mason Rudolph comes into the game and really settles down the Titans' offense enough, because, look, he just needed to get them field goals. He did not need to get them touchdowns. Why would he need touchdowns? The Dolphins don't score touchdowns. they don't score touchdowns anymore. So what would be the purpose of him leading him on touchdown drives? And he comes in there, moving it along. Storm Duck had a nice hit. They have to settle for 3. Okay, cool. Then Tyreek Hill, once again, getting lit up by post texts here of people who want to lambaste the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, they try the end around again, but he can't get on the run on the outside anymore. I don't know if it was a business decision. I don't really care at this point. Doesn't really matter. You could tell nobody was there to really put themselves on the line in this game. Mind you, this is a Titans team that is 0-3. 0-3. Ended your season last year, and the Miami Dolphins came out with the fight of a mouse in this game. Really, really embarrassing. So on 4th down, classic McDaniel decides, you know what's great? What you should do on a 4th and 1 is you should run far away and then try and go get the yardage. That's like his move always. And keep telling me that's their identity. That's their identity as a team, because I would love to see success of that. That would be nice. So Tennessee then gets down the field. You can notice immediately on this drive the big thing of significance. They end up going. They get a big holding call, which negates a big gain. So they end up having to settle for another field goal on this drive. As if you want to add an injury to insult, Jalen Phillips, you can see like he's really upset on the sidelines, and you're like, ugh, something's going on there. So that was definitely something to keep an eye on. And then he wouldn't be done, though. He actually would come back and he'd have a really, really great play. Huge bat down. He would give the Mutombo, rest in peace to Kimbe Mutombo, finger wag after getting a huge block. And yeah, man, you know, it was just one of these things where, you know, Tyler Huntley certainly has explosivity to him. I really wouldn't be against throwing him out there again. It's not fair to expect a lot. I mean, if you told me like, who do I want, him or Skylar Thompson, you know, what is the great choice there? Like, do I want to get stung by a bumblebee or stung by a jellyfish? Like, I don't really know what the answer is there. Tyler Huntley looks like he can do some cooler stuff. Skylar Thompson obviously knows the offense better, but is now banged up on top of the fact of he was very, very gun shy the last time that he was out there. So the Dolphins, like I said, the start of this was welcome to rock bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to connect with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek had L'Jarius Sneed beat a couple times today. Couldn't get anything going on that regard. Then there was nearly a disaster where it looked like the Dolphins were about to have another special teams gaffe. So I thought Duke Riley touched the football first initially. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even. This is I'm coming home from a long day of interviews and radio, and I'm watching just like the special teams seemingly implode again. Thankfully, they said that Tennessee touched it first. I'm still not sure. What else I got here in my notes? Oh, this was like one of the points I kept and I guess I'll make this point now before we get to just more disgusting stuff from the Dolphins. ESPN, dude. I say this as a person who really, really likes Tua Tagovailoa. I support Tua Tagovailoa. If you listen to my radio show, you know the second hour of my show is nicknamed Our Tua. I root for Tua. Whatever you guys want to say your problems are, I'm not really into it right now. Trust me, you could put a big-ass clown nose and a rainbow wig on me right now. I am Bozo the Clown for believing in this team. Full stop. ESPN, dude. Uncle on the Tua sideline shots. Uncle on the Tua. I tap out. Tap machine. Full Khabib, rear naked choke. Tap. I'm out. No dude, they cut to Tua more than they cut to Mike McDaniel. I saw more Tua today on my screen than I did Tyler Huntley. They kept cutting to Tua time and time. By the way, not look pleased. Tua does not have a good poker face for his team struggling. He was like, yeesh. But, dude, enough. And then in the midst of all of it, I'll fast forward a little bit here in the game. But, so the Titans scored their first touchdown. Already bad. You're like 10 points, insurmountable for the Dolphins. Then they go and add Jalen Phillips. His day was done. He suffered a knee injury. Very upset. You could see him very upset. It looked like, it was not encouraging to see. So I would imagine Jalen Phillips is probably going to miss at least a couple games. I mean, with how conservative this team is with injuries and knowing what he's coming off of. I always said Jalen Phillips beat science. It looks like science came for the bill. But that was really, really disheartening. That added. And in the meanwhile of this, Tyler Huntley went deep to Tyreek Hill. He had him, but Snoop couldn't connect. He overthrew him. And so at this point, ESPN goes into Tua mode because the game is boring. I understand. Really, really bad game. You have Mason Rudolph versus Snoop Huntley. They kept going split screen to the Seahawks and Lions game. But, dude, it was Tua, face of Tua, face of McDaniel. McDaniel loves Tua. Dude, I get it. We have been here. This was my point over the summer. Beautiful story by those guys. It is incredible. They have both overcome people doubting them. They have both overcome adversity. But the Dolphin fan has had their fill of Mike McDaniel and Tua's relationship. I love it. It was Goosey's, but it's enough already. We need to move on. And, they still got to do this thing where Tua's going to do with his life what he's going to want to do. Can we cut the bullshit? Tua's playing football again, okay? He's playing football again. I don't know why we got to sit here and do this song and dance. I understand what happened to him was very, very scary, but let's be real about it. His teammates are all saying he's laughing and joking about everybody. The team was overly cautious for optics, put him on injury reserve because they had daggers thrown at them the last time this happened when he got a concussion. His concussions look bad. His concussions look scary, but the dude wants to play football. And we have to treat this like this is something hanging around the team like they don't know only Tua can determine his future. Like Chris Fowler makes and Dan Orlovsky and Louis Riddick almost make it seem like it's up for debate on what he's going to do. And he's not. He's coming back to play football. Now, is he coming back to a football team that's going to have any semblance of contention? That's another story for another day. But, dude, as a guy who really, really likes Tua, okay, I was like, enough of him. Enough of him. If he's not out there, enough of him. I'm sick of him. Enough of him on my screen. I got my fill of him. And ESPN just kept throwing to it my face. That's my rant on that. Anyway, getting back to where I was. Where was I? Oh, does it even matter? Yeah, so the Dolphins went bad snap, illegal shift, the penalties. McDaniel looked sick to his stomach as we're winding down the first half. And then the Dolphins get a horrible punt. Mason Rudolph finds Boyd and sets them up for a last-second field goal to go up even more. They go up 9-6. And, dude, the fans were booing. That's the loudest I've heard that place boo in a while. They were pissed at Mike McDaniel. Rightfully so. It was horrible, man. Mike McDaniel told ESPN they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Tyreek Hill was getting wrapped up for an injury. At this point, Snoop Huntley throws it over the middle right to Jalen Waddle's hands. He dropped it because, of course, he does. That's what he always does when you need him to pick somebody up. Still haven't seen him touchdown dance all year. Jordan Brooks got a 6 sack on Mason Rudolph. Braxton Berrios got a sick return. Dolphins brought it to within 3. Jason Sanders got a field goal. And then the Dolphins, Titans drew a pass interference on Kader Kohu. This is when Jalen Phillips got hurt. He grabbed his knee, was pissed off. Tony Pollard broke it through, nearly took it to the house. Holland saved it, but only for a couple plays. First team to get in the end zone was the Tennessee Titans. So terrible. Then, they went to their little Tua diatribe. The Tennessee Titans tacked on another field goal. And at this point, I just think to myself, like, what's lower than rock bottom? Because this is rock bottom, but I'm trying to figure out, like, do I take a jackhammer or like an oil drill? Like, what gets me further than rock bottom? What is there? Liquid magma? Like, because that's what's going to happen if they lose to the Patriots, which they might lose to the Patriots. I don't really know. Tyler Huntley would eventually get the Dolphins in the end zone. I stopped caring taking notes at that point. I mean, it was a joke. Mike McDaniel, there's not much of a vote of confidence you could give the guy at this point. This is a team in disarray. They look, once again, undisciplined. Of course, they do not have their captain to run things, but, dude, it's going to be tough for him to keep coming here time and again to these podiums, and you lose to 0-3 teams, and you claw your way to 1 touchdown, and Tennessee had to go with their backup in this game. Now, granted, the backup may be better than the starting quarterback, but nonetheless, they had to deal with that adversity immediately. Seamless. They're able to figure it out. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a fun watch, but they dealt with the adversity. They handled it, and I can't help but look at them and be like, yeah, they were a more disciplined team. And then another rookie head coach gets this guy, like Mike McDaniel. You would just think after 3 years, again, I'll use the caveat. I understand you're on your 3rd quarterback. The first one that you had though was kind of a disaster, handpicked, 3 years of development in your offense. Can't ignore that. Your roster choices, you and Chris Greer, you built this puppy to be able to not, be able to pick up 4th in anything, 3rd in anything. And then somehow, dude, the place that set me off the most was the coach's challenge. Because this guy is the worst when it comes to the coach's challenge. There's nobody worse than him. He is, immediately when that red hanky comes out, you might as well know. Whatever he wants, it ain't happening because he's making the wrong choice. Tyler Huntley runs for the first down, okay? He's very clearly short, at least based on the yellow stick, okay? We all saw it. You knew it immediately. We all were like, set it up for, it was on 3rd down, I'm sorry. Set it up for 4th down, dude, all right? 3rd down, tries to run for it. He's short. No. Mike McDaniel decides, let me blow a timeout just to show I care. I that's the thing with his challenges is like he challenges plays almost like an NBA coach gets bullied by their stars. So like if you guys don't know in the NBA, the coach gets a challenge. If he wins, he gets another challenge. But a lot of the times a coach will get kind of bullied because, Jason Kidd will have to challenge because Luka's whining, right? Spo will never do it. Spo hates the challenge. He wishes it's the bane of his existence. But a lot of coaches will bend to the whim of their stars. And I almost feel like with Mike McDaniel, he's doing the challenge to kind of show his team he's doing something because his offense was so inept, so bad, so pathetic that, hey, I'm doing something and I'm going to challenge. But the thing is, it only exposes him more because he is by far the worst coach's challenge challenger in the history of challenging. Like, he is the Bill Belichick of losing challenges, the Don Shula of losing challenges. He's that bad at losing challenges. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I just don't understand how I can sit on my couch an hour away from Hard Rock Stadium. No, on my television screen. Yeah, that's very clearly like line it up for fourth down. But this guy wants to try. I mean, he's sitting here and he's talking about shooting himself, the team shooting itself in the foot, and yet here he is, popping caps right into his shoes, like slips right out of the holster. The revolver goes off. Choo-choo! It's ridiculous, dude. I don't understand what he's doing, and this is why we are where we are, which is rock bottom, and you could possibly be worse next week. I think it was really the great Larry Zonka who put it best today. Larry Zonka, Dolphins legend, number 39. He tweets out succinctly today, and he just tweets out, sad. He's right. Sad. Zonk's not mad. Don't even know if he's disappointed. Zonk is sad. I'm sad. You're sad. Why are we sad? Because this is rock bottom. Welcome. Population, you.